Hey Gritters! Ever dreamt of battling extraterrestrial invaders with a squad of charismatic heroes? Today we're diving into the first Descendant, a free-to-play shooter with explosive action and intricate RPG elements. Welcome to Game Grid, here to break down the game's mechanics, mission design, story, character development, and endgame content. Is the first Descendant worth your time? Stick around to find out. Don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more in-depth gaming content. Let's jump right in. The first Descendant introduces several mechanics that may seem familiar to seasoned gamers. The module system, with its emphasis in capacity and polarity, closely mirrors systems found in other popular titles. Mastery levels are present, offering a sense of progression without the need for challenging tests. The XP system for leveling up your Descendants and the gear research mechanics are also reminiscent of established games, albeit with their own unique spins. However, while these mechanics work well enough, they don't bring much innovation to the table. It feels like a collection of tried-and-true elements from successful predecessors, rather than a groundbreaking new approach. This reliance on familiar systems can make the game feel derivative, lacking the fresh perspective that many players crave. At its core, the first Descendant aims to deliver a thrilling looter-shooter experience. However, the mission design often feels stuck in the past. The tasks you undertake are repetitive, from eliminating waves of enemies to defending key points. This lack of variety can make the gameplay feel like a chore rather than an adventure. The narrative-driven missions don't fare much better. They often boil down to fetch quests or simple objectives that don't fully utilize the game's potential. The grind for better gear is ever present, with in-game purchases offering a quicker path to progression. This can be frustrating for players who prefer earning their rewards through gameplay rather than spending real money. Despite these issues, the fundamental gunplay and character abilities provide a solid, if not revolutionary, experience. The combat mechanics are satisfying, and there's a certain thrill to unleashing powerful abilities against hordes of enemies. However, without more engaging mission design, this thrill can wear thin over time. The first Descendant offers a narrative that feels all too familiar. The plot revolves around an alien invasion, with humanity on the brink of collapse. Mysterious beings and powerful heroes rise to the occasion, fighting to save their world. It's a setup we've seen many times before, and unfortunately, the execution doesn't elevate the material. The story unfolds through a series of missions and interactions with NPCs at Alban HQ. These characters often serve as little more than quest givers, lacking depth and personality. The narrative itself is told through dialogue and cutscenes, but it struggles to capture the player's imagination. The overarching plot of collecting iron hearts and battling a forgettable villain named Carr doesn't provide enough excitement or intrigue to keep players invested. Character development is crucial in any game, and the first Descendant attempts to create a memorable cast. Unfortunately, many of the characters feel like they've been plucked from a stock character catalog. Alpha, the leader of Alban HQ, is the gruff but lovable commander. The starting Descendants include the dashing Lepik, the stoic Ajax, and the intelligent Vesa, archetypes we've seen many times before. The supporting cast of NPCs also fails to make a significant impact. Their writing is bland, and they often serve as mere placeholders for quests and transactions. However, the voice acting manages to inject some much-needed personality in these characters. The performances are strong, with voice actors bringing charm and humor to their roles, even when the script falls short. One character that stands out is Bunny. Her story, centered around finding her missing parents, adds a layer of emotional depth that the game otherwise lacks. While her quest involves typical fetch tasks, it hints at the potential for more engaging and personal narratives within the game. The combat mechanics in the first Descendant are where the game truly shines. The addition of a grappling hook adds a strategic element to battles, allowing for dynamic movement and powerful close-quarters attacks. This mechanic sets the game apart, offering a level of mobility that enhances the overall combat experience. Each Descendant brings a unique playstyle, keeping the gameplay fresh and engaging. Bunny's high-speed dashes and electric charge attacks excel at crowd control, while Lepik's grenades and explosive finishes provide a more straightforward but equally satisfying approach. The shooting mechanics are responsive, allowing players to weave through enemy attacks and unleash devastating combos. While the core combat is enjoyable, there's room for improvement. The enemy variety is limited and the AI can be predictable. Expanding the range of enemy types and their behaviors would significantly enhance the combat experience. Additionally, the limited ammo for heavy weapons like shotguns and sniper rifles restricts strategic options, which could be broadened for more diverse gameplay. The first Descendant's gameplay loop can feel a bit like running on a hamster wheel. Players engage in a cycle of running, unleashing their powers, collecting loot, and repeating the process. The missions are divided into 3 types, but innovation is sparse. Submissions are shorter missions within larger areas, each with varied objectives. These could involve planting explosives at specific points, hacking terminals while dodging enemy attacks, or capturing and holding points. Rewards are tiered by rarity, with common items dropping frequently and legendary gear being much rarer. Main missions, which drive the narrative, often feel like extended submissions. The core activities, eliminating enemies and defending points, lack variety. Occasionally, you'll deactivate energy spheres, but the process can be cumbersome and doesn't add much excitement. Void intercepts offer a change of pace by requiring players to collect small energy orbs. However, the jumping mechanics can feel awkward and disconnected from the platforming elements, making these missions less enjoyable. The main issue with these missions is their repetitiveness. Despite minor variations in objectives, the core loop remains the same, leading to a sense of monotony. This repetition can quickly turn the gameplay into a chore, diminishing the overall enjoyment. That said, the first Descendant does have its strengths. A Forbes article highlights a player review praising the game's sense of progression. You feel real, meaningful power gains as you progress. This is a difference compared to other looter shooters where difficulty spikes and minor upgrades dominate, more akin to Diablo's impactful power surges over time. This element of progression adds a redeeming quality to the game, offering players a tangible sense of advancement. For those who reach the endgame, the first Descendant offers a mix of familiar activities with increased difficulty. The game introduces tougher versions of enemies and dungeons through infiltration operations, adding modifiers to existing missions. This approach extends gameplay but can feel repetitive over time. Special operations provide a test of endurance, challenging players with waves of increasingly difficult enemies. The decision to extract early for rewards or push on for better loot adds a strategic element to these missions. However, the lack of matchmaking for harder difficulties can be a hurdle, forcing players to find groups themselves. The endgame content leans heavily on grinding, with drop rates for certain items being frustratingly low. The in-game purchases system exacerbates this issue, offering players the option to purchase gear and characters directly with real money. While this model isn't uncommon in free-to-play games, the high costs and significant time investment required to obtain top-tier gear can detract from the overall experience. Overall, the first Descendant offers a blend of engaging combat mechanics and a sense of progression, but it falls short in areas such as mission variety, storytelling, and innovation. While the game has potential, it often relies too heavily on familiar tropes and mechanics, which can make it feel repetitive and lacking in originality. The solid combat mechanics, unique grappling hook feature, and diverse character abilities are definite highlights. However, the repetitive mission design, lackluster story, and character development, and heavy reliance on in-game purchases detract from the overall experience. We give the first Descendant a 6 out of 10. It's a decent shooter that might appeal to fans of the genre, but it needs more refinement and original content to truly stand out. What do you think, Ritters? Is the first Descendant worth your time? How would you rate the game? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more gaming content, and click the link on the screen to check out our latest video on the history and evolution of Assassin's Creed. Thanks for watching and see you next time.